Want to hear a story about how my neighbors got involved with murder and got arrested? Good, because I'm about to tell it. So normally I do like paranormal stories of my experiences, but I thought I'd take a break from that and tell you guys about this true crime story that I'm sure you haven't heard about before because it happened in my little town in Tennessee, where I used to live. So a little backstory on my neighbors. They were dealers of sorts. They were nice enough though to us. They would like look out for the house and stuff like while we were gone. They were really respectful to my mom, and we just kind of like we minded our business basically. Now I will say like I when I would go home, because they were always like outside doing dealings, and they would hang out with their friends a lot, like outside in their front yard. And so a lot of times when I would go home, I would get out the car and their friends would like catcall me. And I normally would just ignore them. But it was to the point where I like would tell my friends, like, hey, they're going to catcall you when you get out the car. Just ignore them and walk in the house. And then one time, there was a guy that was catcalling and he got mad because I was ignoring him. So we kind of got into like a back and forth argument about it. And my neighbor was like, hey, like chill out. That's my neighbor. Leave her alone. Now, this guy that I got into it with, his name is Blue. He's an important person later. So amongst the people that used to hang out with my neighbor, aside from Blue, was a guy named B Rush. Now, all of like they were all friends, and they were all kind of like dealers of sorts. Now, B Rush was like a successful dealer, if you know what I'm saying. Like he was pretty well known in the area. And one of my friends actually dated him back in the day. So I had met him before. He was a nice enough guy. I mean, he was a dealer, but he was nice. Anyways, so we noticed out the blue that the neighbors stopped going outside as much and there wasn't as much foot traffic, which we thought was weird. Well, we find out a couple days later that B Rush is missing. So we're like, oh, they must know something about it because they're acting different. So some time goes on, a couple weeks go by, I think it was, and the police end up finding B Rush in his SUV in the woods, and everything was burned. So they're doing an investigation, and I don't know what popped this off as far as like someone like going to the police and telling them or what happened with this part of the investigation. But a girl was interviewed by the police, and this girl had a lot of interesting things to say. So the girl said that Blue came to her house looking for, I guess, like her ex-boyfriend. He had a problem with him, but he wasn't there. So Blue was like in and out this girl's house for like an hour. And in case you haven't picked up on it already, Blue's kind of got a few loose up there. So Blue decided he was going to have the girl call B Rush over because he wanted to confront B Rush about whatever it was that he had a problem with. So B Rush gets there and Blue is hiding in the girl's like bedroom